Hi there, today I'm going to learn about how to shorten the page length in Wix. So in order to shorten your page length, for example, we have like a long website right here. And one way to shorten the page length is, once you see this arrow right here, what you can do is drag it up and down so that we can change the page length in our Wix website. But if it doesn't drag up, this is because an element is restricting it from dragging it up. So what we can do is we can move this text element right here. You just move it here, and then there is still an element right here. There is a strip. We can delete that, and then from now we can drag our slider right here and we can shorten the page length of our website. Again, we can just move this element right here and make sure there isn't a strip restricting us from shortening the page length, and then we can now drag this and shorten the page length. Another way that we can do this is, for example, I'll just make this long for now, and then to shorten the page length, you can just open the toolbar. So we can click on this tools button right here, click on toolbar, and then from here we have the option to change the height of each section. So we are selecting this section right here, and we have the 641 pixels as the height. If we drag this specific arrow right here, we can see that the value for the height is changing according to our mouse. So one way, if we want to change the height manually, we can just input values right here. So for example, I'll put 1000, and we can see that the height for our section has changed. For example, I'll put in 500, and we can see that our page length has changed as well. But for example, I'll put in 200, it won't become 200 because there is a specific element right here, which is this strip that is preventing us from changing our page length. So what you can do, you can just delete this or just leave it as is. So in another way to change the page length is, for example, you have a section right here that you don't want to use. For example, this one right here, this is just a blank space in our website. We can just change the height as well if you still want it to include in your website. But if you don't really need this section right here, what you can do is just click on it and then just click on the delete button, and then we now have changed our length in our website by deleting a specific section. And from here as well, for example, I'll click this section right here. Again, just drag and drop this or change the specific height in the toolbar. And that is all of the ways that we can shorten our page length in Wix. I hope you learned how to do it, and thank you for watching.